Hi, I'm Caitlin with HeySummit, and today we're going to talk about the benefits of using LiveWebinar for your live sessions, how you can interact with your attendees, and a lot of the features they have, and see if that might be beneficial for you. So let's take a look at some things on their site before we get started in showing how you as an event organizer would set everything up. They break down here the pricing for each plan, and they tell you how many attendees, hours of recordings. You can customize a plan. One thing I do want to point out, you're going to want to consider when setting up your event and your sessions, do you have enough on your webinar plan to accommodate the number of attendees that are attending each session? Something to certainly think about. The features they have that I really like are, they have as you can see just in this little sample, and we'll take a look in a bit too, they have a screen here that it would share, like if you wanted to show a YouTube video, wanted to show a Facebook Live video, graphs, you could do a poll, you can see that, and then your attendees would be here on the side, and you've got a chat feature here at the bottom, and you can have a moderator. Keep an eye on that too, which is great. So you've got attendee options, the organizer or host options, and then a moderator as well. But I think it's pretty neat. You can see here the poll and survey. You can draw on all sorts of things. I think it's really, really cool. Kind of unique to what we've seen in some other platforms. So that's part of why I really enjoy LiveWebinar. I think it's fun, interactive. Let's take a look for ourselves a bit closer. So when you're setting up as an event organizer, you have your talks ready to go. You just want to make sure everything is linked. You've made up the subject matter and all that good stuff for what you need. So to get linked to your HeySummit account and your LiveWebinar account, you'll want to start here at Event Setup on this left-hand side, and then go to Hosts. You'll want to add a host. And you don't necessarily need a host for every speaker. You could have one host and you all work off of one webinar account. So let's set it up that way. Go ahead and put our information here. And you'll see you're then prompted to connect to your webinar provider. Click that and we'll choose LiveWebinar. And you'll be asked to connect your LiveWebinar account to your HeySummit account. And make sure when you do this, you're signed into your LiveWebinar account so that this flows properly. Once you're signed into your LiveWebinar account and you click connect, you'll then be prompted with this screen. And you'll want to click authorize for HeySummit to access your LiveWebinar account. And then you'll be taken back to this page and you can see that I am actively connected with LiveWebinar. So let's set up our talks to ensure they are ready to go live when we are ready. Next, we'll go to content. And we'll go to sessions to set them up. And you can see here, you're prompted with configure your video settings. So we have not set our settings up for each session yet. So let's follow these big buttons here step by step. It'll take you through to update content. It's a classified fashion. And then you'll want to do a description just for the sake, right? Test. And then you'll see this video changes to video settings. And here you'll want to go to a live session since that's what we're going ahead and setting up this time. And you'll click host in the drop down. You'll choose your host that's connected to LiveWebinar and click save. And then this will be creating your live webinar. So it'll take a few minutes to go ahead and set that up. And then you would be able to see it in your LiveWebinar account once it's ready. While that is loading and we're giving that some time, let's take a look at what our speakers would see to be able to access their talks. We'll go to Liz here. And you'll see the three dots on the right-hand side. Click that, and you'll go to Speaker Dashboard. Now, before I get too ahead of myself, once your sessions are set up, you will send login details to each of your speakers. They will receive an email being invited to be a speaker at your event. They can sign in, and they'll be directed to their Speaker Dashboard. So let's click Speaker Dashboard. And this is where speakers can edit their information and graphics and things like that, but then they'll also see here their talk, and then they can from there go over to the session that they are speaking. So that's what the speaker will see. Again, they'll be prompted by an email that they'll receive that their session is starting soon, but they can also access from their speaker dashboard. Let's go ahead and from an attendee perspective, just see what they are going to see at the start of a session. Go to view event. The attendee is already registered, so they've gone through, checked out the event, they have signed up for their ticket and gone through, purchased their ticket, they've chosen their talks. so that they're already registered when they come to this page. You can see that they're good to go. The talk is starting soon. You want to ensure that they are added to the schedule. So let's click it, make sure. See, so they're added to the schedule there, and the talk is going to start soon. They will receive an email saying, we're starting soon. It's in an hour, it's right before the talk, about 10 minutes before, and they can follow from their email into the link that will take them to this page when it's ready. Or they can sign onto their page, go to their schedule, and view it this way. If you were to click view your schedule, you can see what they're signed up for, and based on their tickets, then they can click, in this case, view, and it would take them here. And then once it's ready, we'll see in just a few moments, there'll be a button that will take them over to the talk page. So this isn't embedded directly in the page. With LiveWebinar, you'll be prompted to go over to the page and start the talk, but we'll see that in just a few moments. So it looks like we're ready. So let's look at it from our point of view here. And you'll see this is what you could see as an event organizer. Let's go back for a moment. This is what an attendee would see too. But let's look at our speakers. And we'll have Liz say step into her portion of the session. See where it says live, join as the speaker. She can click it. And so you click I'm ready. And this is what the live webinar page would look like. You can see that the host is in, so I'm good to go. Here's the chat option. As people start to sign in, you'll see them here on the right-hand side, and we'll go through as an attendee just so you can see what that looks like. But you see this open share menu will show you a lot of the things that you can go ahead and share. So you can share your screen. If you're doing like a quick conference, you've got surveys that you can go ahead and create, the whiteboard, and you can draw all over that. A lot of really neat features with LiveWebinar where I feel like you can really take your session to the next level all in one place here. And you can see where it says webinar. So you can use a webinar interface, the meeting interface where you can see, so I as the host, but you'll eventually be able to see your people. You can see the content where you can share just the screen here. So like we had that whiteboard up. You can switch to the audiovisual back to you just speaking, or put your camera on to show yourself as the host or presenter, and you can go ahead and do that. See, there's options here, discussion. So now your participants are able to speak and interact, and if they were on, they'd have their videos. Also under discussion, you've got the presentation style where only the presenters can speak. That way your attendees are listening, so there's not a bunch of background noise. You can see how they can record. There's a lot of different ways to record and then change your layout here. And if you were to go to meeting, again, this takes you to the meeting interface, and then you've got the back to the webinar interface here where you can see everyone. And I like that you can see everyone and that your attendees can talk, see each other, and you go to open share again. Again, you've got all your options, but it will be that your talk in just a moment, everything would show up here for your session. So under the audio video, you can set pictures and settings, your layout. You can expand your video when someone's speaking so that at least your attendee is a bit bigger, perhaps. And in the middle of it, you can have a poll, you let people in, all of that. We should be all good to go. So you've got me. Let's get our speaker. So you've got the host up here, and you've got your speaker in here as your host. They can talk, they can listen. And then let's, as an attendee, we'll go to view event and watch now. So they'll go to this button, click watch now. It will take them over. And they're prompted with a waiting room. So here you are. You've got your host and your speaker, and then your attendee is right here. And they have knocked and been asked to be let in here. So we've let them in, and you can see everyone. Click start for your event. You've let everyone in. So right now it won't show my video because I am recording this current video, but you'd have your speaker here. Your attendees would show here. If you want, there's a way to make it bigger so that your attendee isn't just some tiny little person on the screen, but instead you can expand the view here so you can see people a bit bigger. And like I said, they can go ahead and talk through things. You would be here on your screen, or of course being able to show other videos if you wanted to do that. if you wanted to show the whiteboard, anything like that, any sort of polls you want to go ahead and add, you can do that too, which I think is really neat when showing the ins and outs of your event. So let's see, we can poll our participants. So you can create a poll, and you can do that ahead of time or while people are talking if you're thinking of something. Survey, so you can do a survey or a test, and it can be timed out. So if you want to go ahead and give them a minute. Okay, and you can add other questions, and then you can save it. Like shopping. Multi, so it can be, or open, you can leave it as open text and click save. So you've got a poll, your favorite clothing brand, and then you can go ahead and just start it. So here you can see in the chat, or just below the chat, that this poll pops up, that there's a poll in progress. And to view it as a participant here we go, we can expand this. There we go. You can see here, you're asked the question, do you like shopping? Yes. And they'll be able to enter their chat, and then you'll see as a manager, and you can click end the poll. You'll be able to see answers here. So, and then you can share them on the screen too. You see, and then you can share that you've got on the screen, you can share to everyone, you've got this survey, they can go ahead and ask it, and then their answers will show up there. You have people that can, as the organizer, you can host this. Your speakers will have access. They just have to go through and click the button to start. And then your attendees, same, they are taken to the session page, and you would be watching it once you're signed up. So it takes you right over from HeySummit to this webinar, easy flow. And then when you were to go ahead and end, there is an option to end just this session. You as the host could leave, or the speaker if you have one long session, perhaps as a panel of people, and then you could stop it and log out participants, and it'll redirect right back to this page so that your attendee is right back on to a session, but then they can go through and to the next thing, look at their schedule and see what's coming up next. I think the flow is really, really neat for organizers, speakers, and attendees. But if at any point you have questions, if there is something perhaps that was not clear on, or you need additional, a deeper dive into, by all means, feel free to join us on our live Q&As. You can check those out at learning.heysummit.com and sign up for live Q&As. Or you can always go to our knowledge base at help.heysummit.com, and we have articles all about using our webinar platforms as well. I hope this is helpful. By all means, if you have questions, you can also reach out to us at support@heysummit.com, and we look forward to seeing what you're going to create. Thank you so much.